The Arrowverse has been going on for 7 years now, starting with Arrow Season 1 in 2012. We've gotten a number of seasons and also crossovers in every subsequent year so far. In this video, I'm going to be looking at every year of the Arrowverse, including year 1 through 7, but also years -6 and -22, which I will go over in this video, why they are minuses and what they contain, and rank them based off the content we have gotten. When I say year, I don't mean 2012, 13, 14, things like that. I mean the TV show year, so between October and May is usually when they air these things, so that will be a year of the Arrowverse. For example, between October 2014 and May 2015, that will be a single year of the Arrowverse. So with that in mind, let's start this list with number 9. Number 9 is year -22. 22 years before the Arrowverse began, we had The Flash Season 1, the first and only season of the 90s version of The Flash TV show starring John Wesley Shipp, who is a good actor and good on The Flash currently, but his show back in 1990 was not very good, not to mention that it has not aged well at all. I mean, it's not a very high budget TV show from all the way back in 1990. There's no way it was going to age well at all, and because of that, I think that because of every single year having at least a little bit more than what year -22 gave us, I think it has to be at the bottom of the list. Year -6 contains the only theatrically released movie in the entirety of the Arrowverse, and that is Superman Returns, which is a fairly underwhelming movie to be the only theatrically released movie in the entirety of the Arrowverse. So Superman Returns is a fairly forgettable movie. It's probably the most forgettable Superman movie of all time. It wasn't a success at the box office, it wasn't a success critically, and fans just didn't really care about it that much. It never got a sequel. It kind of tanked Brandon Routh's career until he got a career back on Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow. So the fact that Superman Returns is the only thing that was released in year -6 of the Arrowverse is why it's going to be so low on the list. It's better than Flash Season 1 from the 1990s, but it's not good enough to be any higher on the list. If there was a successful, beloved movie, which is the only thing to be released in any given year, then it probably would be enough to be a little bit higher on the list, but Superman Returns just isn't enough. Year 4 of the Arrowverse is mostly terrible. The only reason that it's higher than year -6 and year -22 is because of The Flash Season 2, which alone is a lot better than that movie or that season. So because of that, it's a bit higher than those, but because of everything else in this year, it's as low on the list as it is. You have Arrow Season 4, the worst season of the Arrowverse, Supergirl Season 1, the second worst season of the Arrowverse, and Legends of Tomorrow Season 1, the third worst season of the Arrowverse, not to mention Vixen Season 2, which while it isn't terrible, it's a CW Seed show, and while it is better than Vixen Season 1, it's not good either. And on top of all of that, the crossover this year, Heroes Join Forces, is the only crossover that I just all around dislike. It's not good. It's really, really bad. There are other crossovers like Taken, Star City 2046, and World's Finest, none of which are amazing, some of which, like Star City 2046, is pretty good, but I think Taken, World's Finest, and especially Heroes Join Forces are all not very good crossovers, while every single thing that has been released or was released in this year of the Arrowverse, except for The Flash Season 2, was the worst that the Arrowverse has ever had. So because of that, while it does have The Flash Season 2, and hence it's higher than years -6 and -22, because of everything else in this year, it's lower than every other year that we're going to get to. Year 2 of the Arrowverse contains Arrow Season 2, which, don't get me wrong, is a very, very good season, and it's just enough to be higher than the entirety of Year 4, even though Year 4 had a lot more content, and also had The Flash Season 2. Arrow Season 2 is a very, very good season, but the fact that it only has one season of television is why it's going to be lower than every season above it, except for Year 1, which is also a very similar situation. It is higher than Year 2, but not for that reason. It's higher than Year 2 because I just like Arrow Season 1 more than I like Arrow Season 2, so that is numbers 6 and 5, years 2 and year 1. Very, very similar situations here. They both contain just one very, very good season, and both of them are enough to be higher than years 4, -6, and -22, but not enough to be higher than the years that we haven't gone over yet. Year 3 contains Arrow Season 3, The Flash Season 1, Constantine Season 1, Vixen Season 1, and the crossover is Flash vs. Arrow. Arrow Season 3 isn't great, but The Flash Season 1 is really good. It's one of the better seasons of the Arrowverse, like in the top 2, I'm pretty sure. I don't really 100% remember my ranking, but you can look back on my seasons ranked video from like a month ago, and I'm pretty sure it's number 2. It's such a good season. Constantine Season 1 I don't think is great. Vixen Season 1 also isn't great, but I think this year has a lot of great things about about it. Like The Flash Season 1, mainly it's really carrying this year, and it's kind of like Year 4, it's got The Flash Season 1, great season, and the Year 4 has The Flash Season 2, great season, while everything else around it isn't great. But as opposed to Year 4, this year I don't think it has anything terrible, and also the crossover Flash vs. Arrow is really, really good. So Year 3 overall, pretty good year. Year 6 contains Arrow Season 6, The Flash Season 4, Supergirl Season 3, Legends of Tomorrow Season 3, Black Lightning Season 1, Freedom Fighters The Race Seasons 1 and 2, and the crossover is Crisis on Earth X. This year is kind of the year of being okay for the Arrowverse. They didn't really nail anything. I think Arrow Season 6 is good. The Flash Season 4, I don't really dislike it as much as the fan base, but it's not great at all. It's good. Supergirl Season 3, it's fine. Legends of Tomorrow Season 3 is good, but it's definitely not amazing. Black Lightning Season 1 is fine. The Freedom Fighters shows or the seasons are really bad, but again, they're CW seed shows or seasons, so they're not very influential in my opinion of the year. And Crisis on Earth X, while not being my favorite crossover, it's definitely a pretty good one. Year 6, I don't really think it nailed anything. None of the seasons or crossover are great at all or amazing, and none of them are the best of the Arrowverse, but I think overall Year 6 has enough content to be at least higher than Years 1 and 2, and overall the seasons, none of them are really terrible at all, unless you count Freedom Fighters The Ray. Year 7 contains Arrow Season 7, The Flash Season 5, Supergirl Season 4, Legends of Tomorrow Season 4, Black Lightning Season 2, and the crossover is Elseworlds. This year is a little bit all over the place because every season that was released except for Legends of Tomorrow Season 4, and I haven't even seen Black Lightning Season 2 yet, so Arrow, The Flash, and Supergirl, all three of them have very, very good things about them. Arrow Season 7 has the prison storyline, which is amazing. The Flash Season 5, overall, it's a very good season, I think, and it's got a great season-long storyline. Everything to do with Reverse Flash in this season, it's just so good. Everything to do with Lex Luthor in Supergirl Season 4 equally is very, very good as well. All three of the seasons, which I think those shows, especially Arrow and The Flash, are the most influential on what my opinion of each year is. So the fact that both of those years, although neither of the seasons are amazing, they both have really great things about them. I think they do help the year quite a bit. Not to mention the Elseworlds crossover is at this point my favorite crossover. So yeah, Year 7 of the Arrowverse definitely has a lot of great things about it. Year 5 of the Arrowverse contains Arrow Season 5, which by itself is why it's as high as it is. I mean, without the other things, it probably wouldn't be number 1, but Arrow Season 5 is so good in my opinion that it's going to be, because of it, because of the season having some other good things, it's at number 1, but also The Flash Season 3, which is definitely my least favorite season of The Flash so far, but it's not terrible. I think it's got a lot of great things about it. Supergirl Season 2, which isn't very good, but at least it introduced Superman in a very good way, and Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, which is a very good season. Also Vixen the movie, which I don't think is terrible at all, and the crossover event Invasion and Duet. Now, you probably think that this year isn't perfect, and I know it isn't. Supergirl Season 2 is not very good, Vixen the movie is not great, and Duet is a pretty stupid crossover. Also, The Flash Season 3 isn't great, but I think overall, so far, this is the best the Arrowverse has done so far. I mean, it's got Arrow Season 5, Invasion, Legends of Tomorrow Season 2, it's got a lot of great things about it, and while the Arrowverse has yet to do a 100% perfect year, this is the closest to perfect I think they've had so far, not including Years 1 and 2. Because those years have the unfair advantage of only having to do one thing, but this year of the Arrowverse, Year 5, I think was the year that I became a big fan of the Arrowverse in general. I mean, before it, I was a fan of The Flash because of The Flash Season 1 and 2. I was a fan of Arrow, or at least I was a fan of Arrow. After Season 4 of Arrow, I legitimately quit the show until I saw the trailer for Arrow Season 5. So the fact that this year it made me such a huge fan of Arrow and the Arrowverse in general, and I thought that most of it was really, really good. This is the year that, like, right after that, I started my channel. It was probably because of this year that I had a channel at all, so because of all those things, Year 5 of the Arrowverse is, as of right now, my favorite year so far, but who knows, maybe Year 8 will be even better, although I kind of doubt it. Legends of Tomorrow Season 5 will probably be pretty bad. Supergirl Season 5 is just Supergirl Season 4 probably without Lex Luthor, so maybe not great. The Flash Season 6 could be good. Arrow Season 8 has Flash Forwards, but still, it can be good, and Crisis on Infinite Earths is probably going to be amazing. That being said, there's also Batwoman Season 1 and Black Lightning Season 3, so it's kind of up in the air whether that year will be good or not, but I have hope that at least the main two shows of the Arrowverse, Arrow and The Flash, will be good in year 8, and maybe year 8 can be yet a bit better than year 5, hopefully based off Crisis on Infinite Earths. So that is this video. So as a recap, the ranking of the years are year -22, year -6, year 4, year 2, year 1, year 6, year 3, year 7, and year 5. Let me know your ranking for the years of the Arrowverse in the comments down below. And if you like this video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.